Do 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 do. Yeah, lighting can be a problem. I will probably turn that around, put some better system in. Maybe this way. Let's just check, see if that does any good. No, it doesn't. There's it there. Yeah, that's great. That's what we'll do. We'll do it just about here. I'll put that up there. Oh, Colin, will you quit? Oh, one of them things you just... Hello. How are you, Jonathan? How are you? Welcome, 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 welcome. I am just getting myself set up again because I don't want any fluorescence in the way. And that's pretty good there, I think. That is pretty good, isn't it? So, how are we all? Welcome to the channel. I haven't been doing very much at the minute. Hello, Leisure Light. How are you? Take your time. Thank you very much, Jonathan. Well, here we are. I'm back in the warehouse doing some more work. I've done a great video yesterday on returns, which hasn't been edited or put up online yet due to the fact that it's a big video. So what happened was, if you look at it, I was doing all the stuff down here. Well, Andrew, how are you, mate? I was doing all the stuff down here, and I forgot all about returns, and I was going ahead and just giving the customers their money back on eBay, Amazon, and Shopify. But I'd done a count. 14 days in, that's actually just before Richard's death, no returns were processed. And I ended up with about 32 returns in 290 odd sales, which wasn't fast moving for me in comparison to the way it used to be. So I closed down a lot of the eBay businesses purely because I don't need them anymore. And I've not been really working that much about the eBay, but 293 sales in 14 days. And the returns were close to 30. Now, yes, I am. I'm doing really well. And Chris, welcome. And Darren, welcome. How are you? I've been doing very well. I've been getting this business, this operational online warehouse, this online sales business, a little bit more effective, a little bit more just speedier. There's a lot of errors in the way it was being ran, and I needed to resolve it. Well, Justice Jane, how are you? And Tommy, welcome. And Brandon, welcome. Yeah, so I've been working very hard on trying to make this business a hell of a lot more effective before I either sell it, which I'm looking to sell the business for 200,000 quid. Behind me and around me, there is about 500, 600,000 pounds of eBay retail, but I'm looking to sell it for 200 grand, the whole heap, the whole lot. Now, if anyone wants to buy it, you're more than welcome to make an inquiry with me. Or I continue running it, but I run it with subcontractors. I do not have employed staff anymore. I do not want any more staff working for me. I've just about had enough of it. With Richard gone, he was my only savior in regards to sanity, in regards to employing staff. So I just felt, Liana, welcome. No parade time. Scrolling has been torture. Well, recently I've been doing a lot of praying, actually. I never used to be a God-loving person, but there we go. Things change, life changes, you know. So anyway, in regards to the eBay business, I don't do as much in regards to the video I've got. The video is going up tonight. It's about returns and about how many in ratio returns happen. And I've got the numbers roughly in my head, and I'll tell you. So 293 sales in 14 days on eBay, Amazon, Shopify, and Vinted, of which there were 30 returns, of which 22 of them were eBay. Yet eBay had 153 sales and Amazon 122, but Amazon had 2 returns. 2 returns and 1 refund that was not returned because the customer never got it. And this is an indicator of how much eBay are screwing. Well, Gary, well, Laser, Alexander, welcome, welcome, very much welcome to the channel. And how much eBay are actually screwing the customer. When I say the customer, not the buyer, the seller. You and I who work on eBay are the customer. That's what we are. We're customers. And oh, thank you, Tim. I appreciate your comments. In regards to the eBay platform, I feel that they're more super focused around the buyer at the expense of the seller. And I intend to factually ensure that it's recorded with statistics and numbers so that eBay don't sue me, because they've tried to silence me by closing my business down. And it became a bit of a war. It is a war that I have with eBay now, and I feel relieved that I no longer have staff, because staff sadly were a chain around my neck because of the fact that I couldn't say what I wanted on YouTube about eBay. The boys asked me to not say anything about my grief with eBay, because they felt that they would close the final channels down. Now I've only got one channel, and I've got about it's not that many items, about 40,000 items on eBay now, and they're being slowly migrated onto Amazon. And the reason why with slow migration with Amazon is because there's no messing with Amazon. Even though Amazon is what I refer to as they are money orientated, but so am I. I genuinely love employing staff, but the hassle you get for staffing nowadays, and the cost, the pure cost from the government, how much they fine you and tax you, and the amount of regulation you have to apply in order to have staff now is absolutely terrible. Okay, go touch grass. Well, I'm glad you said that. Thank you, Gary. Remember. Yeah, you see, you're right, Excellent. There is a phenomenal thing about, experience is something that I've done. 34 years a businessman. 34 years a businessman. And I've made millions in my life, and I've paid millions in tax, and I've employed staff to millions and millions of pounds. So I've paid a lot of money into their economies. Over the years, I've employed hundreds, if not thousands, of staff in my time. And in that time, I've realized one major thing, and it was one big important thing. There was a multi-millionaire who died. His name was Philip Shields, a multi-millionaire, very successful, and he had a pile of staff around the UK. Okay? The guy died from Alzheimer's only a month ago. And you can have a look at the video. I said, what's it about? And I put up the video with immediate effect coming away from his funeral. Very few people turned up. Very few people. In fact, I would dare say a handful of people turned up for his funeral. And that's the level of respect that human beings have for people who are employed. And I realize myself, my heart goes out to a member of staff, and I go, oh, I may not be able to afford your job this month. I can't afford to let him go because his jobs and his security is more important to me than my own. So I'll pay it from my savings to pay for that. And ultimately, what I found is, after they leave, they don't give a shit about you. They don't care. Nobody cares about staff, or nobody cares about the boss. Nobody gives a shit. And I feel that time has come in my life where I'm no longer going to care about staff the way I used to. And it's down to the fact that staff are especially the younger folk. I don't know what it's about, you guys, with the younger ones. I don't understand what you guys are up to and why you're the way you are. But you're becoming more and more about yourselves than being a part of a community in a workplace. You want your rights, you want your wages, you want more wages, you want more wages, you want more holidays. And yeah, how you doing? How you doing, all of you? Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much. And I've run business and struggled to pay wages, struggled at times where I've starved or done without. Sometimes I don't starve because you can see the weight on me. But what I'm saying is I've had to do without. I've not had to starve. But there's a lot of people. There's a lot of people today. Thank you very much, Stu. There's a lot of people today Some people say you're conceited. What would you say to them people? Yes, conceited is what I am. You're absolutely right. I actually think, people can ask me questions about my flaws as a human being. But let me ask you a question. Are you conceited too? Are you willing to admit to your own flaws? We all have flaws, people. We are all flawed. I am an employer. It doesn't make me superhuman because I pay wages. And you don't have to be superhuman. You're allowed a personality. I'm entitled to my own personality. Some people say that I'm narcissistic. They're wrong. I am not narcissistic. It's an absolute lie. If I was narcissistic, I could not be an employee or employer. I could not employ people. So conceited, yeah, I can be conceited at times. Absolutely. I'm not frightened of saying that I've got flaws in my humanity. I am selfish at times. I'm egotistical at times. And ultimately, there are my flaws. And if you look, you are narcissistic if you don't read my super chat. What are your thoughts on 9/11, baby? I can't really answer that one, mate. I don't know much about 9/11. I'm an Englishman or Northern Irishman, so sadly I can't. But I appreciate you saying I'm narcissistic. You're listening to me anyway. But, Brendan, yeah, Tucker Carlson. But, people will always sit and contend and sit and judge me, which I'm okay with. I put myself out in the public. I have 40,000 subscribers. And I must admit that it is a joy to broadcast my thoughts, my processes, my humble life, my humanity to you people, and you get to judge and see what I am. And you could negatively judge me. I'm not going to be frightened of negative judgment. I'm not scared. I'm not frightened of people saying, Alan, I feel that you're a bit of a dick. Yep, there's times I can be. I agree with you. I can be a bit of a dick sometimes, as you can. But you're not there putting yourself in the public, and that's okay. We all choose to make our own choices. If I put myself out here, I know that people will stand and judge, and they do. You will always hear me talk today. You will hear me talk today, and you will judge what I say, and you'll go, well, I don't agree with them. But that's great, because you're allowed to speak to me and say, Al, I don't agree with you. I'm not frightened of listening to you telling me that I'm wrong or right or I'm a prat. It's okay. But anyway, so back to the business itself. A couple of people are now commenting about me being what did they say? I think they referred to me as a narcissist. Now, let's go by that conversation. I did study 5 years in psychology with the Open University. I didn't finish my degree yet, but I studied psychology. And narcissistic tendencies is not me. I am egotistical, not narcissistic. And the people with their fireside psychology, when they sit in a chair watching TV and hear what a YouTuber says about what is a narcissist and relate and correlate their information, what they get from YouTube. But sadly, they've got it wrong on me. Maybe I was a narcissist, but if I say that I was a narcissist, then I wouldn't be narcissistic. Remember that. Because anyone that admits they're narcissistic is not narcissistic. I am insane. Well, we are. Kier, I agree with that one, mate. I actually agree with that one. I can be really insane. Because if you look at it, with the attitudes of me, with the way I get on, I have to be insane to keep supplying money to people when I can earn it myself and a lot more. Here's a prime example. Since I've told staff to go, since I've said staff, listen, I'm doing this no more. I've had enough of it. I don't want to employ staff. If I'm going to get staff in, it's going to be subcontractor and I'm going to pay them much more money. But from now on in, I'm not going to employ staff and have them come to my home, rule my roost, and think they own the place. So I've stopped it. But since then, this last week, I have made £8,000 in a week for myself, for me. No one to pay. Nobody to pay. Don't have to get it in the air. Don't have to worry about insurances anymore. Don't have to worry about Labour government coming and hit me a slap. I got $8,000 for doing my own stuff just as well or even better than my staff. And that ultimately is $8,000 a week for the rest of my days, as long as I can physically pull myself out of my 8 grand. Who the hell wants to have staff when you can earn 8 grand yourself and you can do it in a day's work? Yes, my YouTube has taken a toll on that because I don't make as much money on YouTube. I make about £1,000 to £4,000 a month on YouTube currently. So the money that I get from my own business, including my rentals, is 8 grand. So I'm not hiring. No, I am not hiring. That's the end of it. Thank you very much, Arcadian. You've just got it there right, mate. I'm genuinely, all I'm going to do now is just get subcontractors. I put an advert out already. I put an advert out for this. Now listen to this. Wanted a senior member of staff to whom I can call for when I need them, so in other words, someone who's kind of semi-retired or doesn't have a job and doesn't want it, and I'm paying them £22 an hour for as long as they want. 22 quid, and I can say, listen, you're not up to scratch, away you go. Now, if you think about this, that guy doesn't have any rights. The guy can't tell me that he's going to sue me, because that's a big problem. You're getting sued left, right, and center when you tell the person, and you have to go through this process. You know, you could see a stupid member of staff. You know they're a stupid member of staff. You've worked with stupid members of staff, people. You've seen them. But yet, goodbye, Ian. See you later, mate. Big gay Al. Well. That's not the first time I've got it. You know, you get taxed heavily. Darren, there you go, look. There's no incentive for employers. You're absolutely right. Because I'm being taxed more as an employer. I'm being punished more because there's now, how many more? They said that they've got another 3,000 HMRC agents on the thing now. And they're coming, if you've got any errors at all, they're coming and they're giving you a hard time. What's the point? What's the point employing staff? They're not making it viable to employ staff. It's not a good thing to employ staff anymore. And I'm going to say with that message, because if you look at it, the 30 years or less, and I've got kids that are like that. I've got children who are like that. So, Gavin, you said, and welcome to the channel. Are you paying 40% tax and 25% stamp and money? Is that after? No, I'm not. So the thing that I do have is a great accountant. I have employed, or he's now on, and he's got paid close to 30 quid an hour to work for me, and he accounts for me. So my tax is not 40%, not at all. We get it through and we get it down. That's the thing about having money and doing it yourself. And my channel is going to deliver a new route, a new game where we're going to learn how to make money on your own. You don't need staff to scale up. I don't need staff to scale up. I have to change what I do here. So the physical attributes of what is picking and packing here has to change. I have to stop that. As I do with the construction side of things, I have to just get subcontractors in and simply sit in an office and say, I want this done, I want that done, I want the other done. That's the way I'm going to become. And I think it's a new build for me, from the humble, hands-on AlanC to this new, I'm going to step back, I'm wealthy enough to do this, and I'm going to tell people what to do. And if they don't do the job, they're going to get fined, they're going to get prosecuted, or I'm going to sue them. Because that's what you can do. You can't sue an employee. So if an employee doesn't do their contract or leaves their job and they breach contract because they're supposed to stay and give so much notice, if they leave on the minute and they breach contract, you can't sue them. But if someone goes through a job and they're working on a job and they're self-employed and there's a contract says, if you leave, I can fine you, and if you don't pay, I will bankrupt you. And that is then known as a commercial aspect. And I can sue a subcontractor or a contractor, but I cannot sue an employee. So what's the point in having employees? Because self-employed people will do their job for fear of being sued, as I do. If I'm working for someone, I'm not going to half finish it or do a shit job because people will sue me. And that's how I made money. I've made money throughout my life. Brickmaster, welcome. LA, welcome, and AD, welcome. Where is it? Gavin, you need to make living to put food on the table now, working a low factory fade job. You need at least £5,000 a month. That is phenomenal. And that's the way it is. You're a maintenance manager. Well, retired. Everyone is so unreliable. See, I'm not the only one that's saying I need an affirmation of this, guys. Anyone that's employed staff, they've got the same problem. And I'm done with that. I just don't want to do it anymore. I'm just too wealthy for this nonsense. I've made enough money over my time. I've saved enough, and I've got a lot of cash in places where it's supposed to be earning money. I have taken on 2 apprentices in the last year. This day, the age of work ethic of the new generation. It's not just me, guys. It's not just me. I'm saying what it is, and I'm getting attacked. People are attacking me for saying the staff below the age of 30 are just terrible. They're not worthy of employment. It's all about them. It's all about the needs. And I want that to change. I genuinely, because they're a good bunch of people. I love the younger generation. They're a good bunch of people. They care a lot, but they're very self-centered. This self-centered behavior, there's no team collaboration. It's me, and my needs. And if my needs are not met, I'm going. And I'm going to quit within seconds. And then you're the bad boss, and I'm going to sue you for being a bad boss. It's funny how they go, but they can't let go. I don't get this. They go, but they can't let go. Because I've got 2 members of staff commenting on my channel currently, ex-members of staff, since I decided to close this place down to a level of just a one-man band. They're thinking that's failure, and they're coming on going, I used to work for you, Al. I used to work for you, Al, and you're a narcissistic prick. I was going, okay, now you're coming out of the work when you think that I'm down. I'm not. I'm up. I'm up. I'm making more money than I've ever made before. I'm not paying staff, and I'm making money for me. So please, let's correct this perception. And I agree. To sue your boss is a scummy move. Well, listen, there's a lot of people suing the boss. I got sued so many times, it's unbearable. I've employed thousands of staff throughout my career, and there's a lot of people don't like me because I was their boss. And I don't understand the relationship of employer-employee scenario. If you're an employer, you employ a member of staff and they tell you, you're a great boss, you're this boss, you're that boss, and they really do. When you're getting paid, they kind of answer a few questions. The minute they decide to leave, it's because they're disgruntled or they're not happy. Fine, go and let go. But a lot of them want to hate. They want to come back and they want to hate. They don't let go of it. They don't move on. They're not wise enough to just say, look, I got a job elsewhere. I'll work for the boss and I'll serve him. No. They need to go back and they need to go, you're a narcissistic prick, Alan. And this is my point. So self-employed, contractors, subcontractors is the only future. They can say what they want. Would you believe if a self-employed member of staff says anything about me after they leave my contract of employment, I can sue them because they are commercial workers and I can take them to court for libel and everything. But with an employee, I can't sue them. I cannot have a member of staff sued for not doing their job, for breaching contracts, for saying what they want, for doing what they want. I can't sue them. They can sue me, but I can't sue them. And that's why I am no longer employing staff. I'm sick of it. I've had enough of it. 34 years of being a business person, guys. 34 years. And I've made a lot of money. And I've lost a lot of money. And most of my money that I've lost has went to wages. My biggest cost in my business is wages. Wages for staff who don't bloody well deserve it. A lot of them do. There's about 95% of them are good members of staff, but the 5% are the ones that I am tired of. I am sick to the death of bad staff. I am sick of them. And for that reason, I've closed my businesses down to human traffic. And what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to employ them self-employed. Now, listen to this. I remember a story, and I used to think, oh my goodness, why would he do that? The story of Charlie in the chocolate factory. He closed the factory and told the staff, they're gone. You must leave because of the cheating and the mutiny and the sabotage that he encountered that affected his business and his happiness. And he got the Oompa Loompas in. My Oompa Loompa is this. My Oompa Loompa is artificial intelligence. And it's going to be the future, and it's going to be here for good. I know you can't stand me. There you go. DEI. Dustin, I'm from Northern Ireland, mate. DEI is an American thing, you silly person. So, yeah. Darren, is the camera guy still with you? The camera recorder at the cottage? Yes, of course. Yeah, he's with me, Darren. Yes, yes. He's with me because he's what do you call it? He's with me because he's family. And another thing as well, the family, you know, my family helped me a lot. They love me. They care for me. My friends helped me a lot. I here lost Richard to his death. He died of a heart attack, working his bloody cotton socks off for me. The only man that deserved to stay with me, and it was Richard. And he died that night. He left this very point here. He left this very point at 7 o'clock that night, went home and died. And he had his coat on still. I found him dead. We found him dead the next morning. Traumatic. Very traumatic. No, that that's Mary Alice Brown. I assume you're American. So we play a thing called national insurance contributions. National insurance is a health stamp that we pay to the government. We have a government health system, which by your means you don't understand. It's like Obamacare, but ours is a lot better. It's a bit terrible at the minute because government have not invested it, the money that we put in. We get charged, as an employer, I get charged a thing called national insurance contributions for employees and employers. Employers pay a lot of money towards every pound, I have to pay a little bit more on top, the hidden costs of employing staff, and I put it towards their healthcare. It is a prepaid system. It is statutory. It is not something you do by choice. It is unchosen. We all in the UK have to do that, okay? So that's explained to you from a Great Britain or a UK point of view to someone from America or someone who does private healthcare. Healthcare is not something you need in the UK. So healthcare is free. Well, it's not free. I pay for it. I pay a lot of money to national insurance contributions every week. And I have done. All my life as an employer, I paid thousands, hundreds of thousands in national insurance for employing staff. You get charged a certain amount of money. So that's the way it is. I bet you've burned bridges at every business relationship you've been in. That's a very good statement, Ultimate. I would say, you do burn bridges. You see, with business, in business, and it's a very good thing. And I know that you're coming across as Jenny, welcome, and blessed, how are you? But that's a really good thing, and I'm going to explain that to you because when it comes to politics, if you look at politics always ends in burned bridges. No one succeeds. You always end up in failure as a politician. The same thing happens in business. What happens with business, and I've noticed this in my business, is they evolve through time and eventually they fail. Because I'm 34 years in business, I have seen my businesses go high, go low, and then rise up again. And things change. People's perceptions of business change. People's perceptions of what they want change. And I've been in businesses in tech, in hospitality, in service, in engineering service, and all of my businesses, online retail. I've been in retail. There's a lot more things that I've done in my life, and all of them have more or less ended in failure, either through exhaustion, because 12 years ago I had a mental breakdown, and I closed all my businesses. They were worth about, at the time, I think they were worth about £3-4 million, but I couldn't stand another day, and that would happen. So ultimately, yes, the answer's correct. And you would ask me, and you'd think that you got me on a gotcha moment, but I'm the one that tells the truth. I don't care what people think about me burning bridges. We have to get used to it. If you look at your life and you go to a friend and you have a falling out with that friend, you burn that bridge. If you say you make a complaint and you're not being listened to by a business, you burn that bridge. And the scenario is we burn bridges every day in our lives. Business is one of the forefronts or the spearheads of burning bridges. We burn bridges every day with ex-members of staff, ex-suppliers, ex-customers. They're burning bridges. So please, let's not pretend that I'm just the only one that burns bridges in life. I'm not a narcissistic person. And I challenge anyone to ask the question to me. Challenge you to say, Alan, you are a. And I'll say, nope, I'm not. Or, yeah, I kind of am. People have said this to me, and you cannot get a fight out of me on my pride. I'm not a proud man. I'm a honest and I'm a self-respecting man. So if someone says to me, Al, you're a prick. Well, if I've been a prick, I'll say, yeah, I've been a bit of a prick. But that's my point. You can't get me on this. It doesn't get me down because I burn bridges. And ultimately, no businessman that has done or succeeded has not burnt bridges. I know lots of successful, and yet a man who didn't burn bridges, his name was Philip Shields. He was a multi-millionaire. He owned an IKEA transport company called, oh goodness, name forgets me. But anyway, I should know this. And he owned 20 plus Ferraris, multi-millionaire, really, really good guy, solid guy. Staff loved him. And then he took dementia. And suddenly the staff turned on him. And I sat there in his restaurant and I said, how's Philip doing? Oh, he's a horrible man, la, la, la. And he didn't know that I was a friend of Philip's. He died 2 months ago. And only a handful of people turned up. So bridges burned? How does a bridge get burnt? American, anyhow, sounds like if everything is done is sunk, then the ship, it's the captain. Right. Absolute, Mary, you're right. You are absolutely right. It's got everything to do with the captain of the ship. Now, and I'm going to say this because that's something I hold dear to my statement. The choices I made to lower my business, okay, wasn't done intelligently by me because of the fact that eBay made changes to my company and the UK government made changes to how we do business with Europe. That killed the business from 10 staff down to 5 immediately in October of 2024. Since then, we have been dealing with major issues with eBay. And I then, as the captain, I spoke on behalf of my company and my staff, and I called eBay out for the greedy bastards they actually are. I did. So as the captain of my ship, I took the risk of riding it straight into that iceberg. And as a consequence of that, they then sunk my ship. I agree, because I made that decision. But then we had a little dinghy, a little tiny boat on the side of that big ship that sunk. Okay, 800 grand a year with eBay to more or less 100 grand a year. And what I did was this. I shut up and we rode into the night of our little tiny ship with 3 more people, including myself. 4 people, including myself. And we rode that little dinghy boat away. So eBay just was looking at the big ship sinking, like the Titanic it did. But the captain left his ship with his friends. And I'll talk about that. And then what happened was Richard died. So on a little dinghy, we're using the analogy of the captain of the ship. On the little dinghy, Richard died suddenly 2 weeks ago. That's just 2 weeks ago. On September the 11th, on my birthday, he died of a heart attack. The greatest man and co-pilot of my business. A solid guy. I loved him. He was going to be, I would have took him on for much more. I'd have given him a lot more. He deserves it because he was a hard-working, determined man. Anyway. Well, come on now. That's a bit rude. I didn't need him. But then he died. But then I was basically at that point where I went, guys, I no longer need this boat. I'm leaving. We're getting off the ship. I'm going to leave you to port. You go ahead and get your things done. And I'm closing it down. And since then, my new ship has went boing out of the water and it's leveled. And I'm on my own. And I'm going to get AI to ride that ship. And it's going to steer around it. And I can still afford to slabber and give off about eBay. And they're greed. Now, you asked me, wee man Sham, am I a greedy? Well, thank you, Mary. I appreciate that. Richard was a great man. Look at the videos on him. He looked like Papa Smurf. He's only a couple of years older than me. And boy, he looked old. He didn't look after himself, but boy, he was a brilliant guy. Will I be in Dundrum? No, sadly, Brendan, that the market kind of thing has come to an end. But yeah, Steve Bruce. Jonathan, I've been called worse. I've been called Jay Leno. But anyway, so you asked me, am I greedy? And the answer to the greed thing is yes, I am a greedy man. I'm trying less to be greedy. I am a very greedy man because I've made a lot of money through my desire to be greedy. And about 12 years ago, I was a multi-millionaire. No, before then. It was before then. And when I was in my 30s, I was a multi. Well, it's not. I don't think it is. I think it's a very evil thing. And I've become less greedy as I became, and I'm more humane. I believe that I'm much more humane. But it doesn't stop my need to just stop the earache from staff and the hassle from the government for employing staff. I don't want it anymore. That's not greed. Well, I'm not as greedy as I used to be, wee man Sham. I agree what you're saying. Any businessman who says that he's not greedy to a certain level is not a businessman. And that ultimately is it. We all have greed to a certain degree. We all want the best. We all want property. We all want this. We want that. I don't see it that way anymore. I'm no longer in that position where I look for money proactively. If I don't get it, I don't get it because I don't need it. I've got more wealth than I need, and I give it absolutely generous to a lot of people. In fact, there are so many people that I've given money to in this last year to help them grow their own business. Minimum of $5,000 of my own money that I've earned with my own hands. These hands has been given money to people. And today, my greed has been settled even more because today I've got 2 people joining me and I'm going to train them how to start up an eBay or an online business. And I spend that personal time giving back what I've taken out of society. Alzy, you're more than welcome to take it from me, but you have to earn that. You have to be a business person with a need to come and join my inner circle. I have an inner circle. No. Yeah, well, look, wee man Sham, I had a big, massive life issue, and that life has taken a lot of time. That has kicked the shit out of me. Life had kept on hitting me, and I took it. On the chin, in the face, in the gut, everywhere. I've taken slaps, I've taken punches. But in that time, I have learned to humble myself. I no longer drive the Ferraris. I no longer drive the Aston Martins or the Bentleys. I don't do any of that stuff anymore. I've got a nice sports car for myself. It's not that sharp. There's a hint what it is. And I've got a few cars that I keep to myself. I've got nice houses. I've got a big property portfolio, which makes me money and keeps me in a humble life. I don't spend major money and I don't show off. I don't do showing off. You'll see me working. If you look on my channel, you'll see me working. Work. That's all I do. And I'm trying to show people that hard work kills no one. Do it yourselves. Earn some money, become wealthy. You can do it. 10 years, 10 rules, that's it. And I try and tell you all this. A lot of you people think that it's all about hustle and bribing and whatever. You can get it done easy. You can't do money easy. 34 years of businessman. It's never been bloody easy. And what I'm saying is greed is one of the biggest, most proprietary requirements for you to make money. Now I'm at my age I am, and I've got enough money in my account. It doesn't mean anything anymore. Money means nothing to me. It's like a tool. And I give it freely to people who want to use that tool to make money for themselves. And there are so many people here. There are so many people. There are thousands of people who want to make money for themselves, but just don't know the answer to it. And they look at me and I say, you can do this. And I'm not going to charge you for my time. In fact, I'm going to give you money. Do I think that 3D print is a great business opportunity? You have that, don't you? Is that what you have? I think any business is a great money-making opportunity, Brickmaster. If you want to put your mind to it and put your energy and focus into it, you will make money from it. And what will happen is, I've noticed this, if it kind of doesn't work and you're still firing away at that kind of doesn't work, something happens in the progress of time. little shoots of new things come out of it, new opportunities. And suddenly, from 3D printing, you're doing a plastic composites business. You're doing something else. And it evolves through the desire to improve yourself. So there it is. And I just feel that if you all understood that these Andrew Tates, these wealthy multi-millionaires who say Pagani, Ferrari, Bentley, la la la, it's a load of shit, guys. Don't listen to the shite. There's a guy came to me, he's doing the work for me as a subcontractor, and he said to me he paid a mentor, a business mentor, and I've seen his record. He's not got a financial record that's worthy of a multi-millionaire status. But he's given the guy business advice for $5,000. $5,000 he paid this guy to tell him what I tell you guys every day. Work hard, stay focused, stay strong. Don't listen to the shit talkers. Don't listen to the haters. And keep working it. Don't concern yourself about all these shitheads that want to put you down and be like them. There's a lot of them. 90% of the world don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to do well. They don't want me to do well. In fact, there are people watching right now in this crowd that don't want me to succeed. That's my energy. People do not want anyone to succeed. They want them to be like them so they can feel good about their failures in life. They don't want to get up off their ass. And I say to you now, all of you, if you want to do well, if you want to succeed as a human being, whether it's in family, whether it's in the love of your partner, whether it's in the love of your dog or your cat, you have to work it. You have to put that energy into that to get that back out. Like a business, like a baby, like a human, like anything in the world, you have to put your absolute strength and 10 years of your life into something for you to be rewarded every time in return. Well, sadly, wee man Sham, that's not going to happen. From my understanding of the world, very, very few people succeed. Why? Because of the choices they make. You know, it's just choices. We all make choices, and it's who we choose to be with friends. It's who do we choose to what we do with that day. It's whether we go out for that weekend instead of paying that bill. These are all the things that you guys, it's the choice that we make with the bank when we take a loan. Did we take a high interest loan or a low interest loan? Did we even bother? It's the fact that you didn't get up Saturday morning and go and do that job for Mr. Jones who said, look, can you do a bit of garden work for me? It's always that type of person, wee man Sham. And I love the way you see your honesty and your way you're talking to me. I love that because you're the sort of people I love to talk to. I love good communication. I love people saying it as it is. Well, we can all look at business from a point of view that there's a greedy man at the top taking from it all. But a majority of the businesses aren't. Majority of the businesses are local shopkeepers like me. I'm a shopkeeper and I've made a lot of money. Yeah, well, that's our Gary. Gary's good at knowing who the plonkers are. And there's a lot of plonkers come. As I said to you, they're here. You can watch them come and go in my channel. They come and go. They get timed out by Gary. Gary's a great man for it. Al, in Victoria Square, Lego opened a Lego store. It was awesome. I haven't been to the Lego store yet. I love Lego. Lego's about building anyway. Cheat 12. Are you local? Can you do it? Yes, absolutely. If you want to make money, I would happily pay you to make cash. I would happily pay you. There are people that have been paid. If you look back at the videos, the market videos, I gave a minimum of $5,000 of stock to every one of them 5 people. 25G of my money went to 5 people. And would you believe the 5 of them are still doing it and they're making money from my money. That's what it was all about. And I intend to invest more into them. I want to put them into property portfolios next. The idea is to move them from the next step from market stalls to eBay and Amazon to making enough money to put the deposit down for their first rental portfolio property. And Darren, you're absolutely right. There's one of the things, the reason why I've decided to stop trusting in employing staff. The government have done so much harm to my business, not just mine, but on a personal perception, mine. I know that he's not just harmed me. Keir Stalin has basically done it to a lot of human beings right now. And there's a lot of crap going on in the government right now. I don't have faith in the future. I am going to buy a house in Nice, in France, and I'm going to semi-retire out there because I've no ability to understand if I can do business in this new future where digital IDs are coming in, which is going to be an absolute betrayal of humanity. But people don't understand it. They will happily, blindly walk into this nonsense. So I have no faith in the government, and I have no faith in the future governments. They're all shites. And I think that this is where it's going to go. And I'm not ready for it. I'm not prepared to give everything I've worked all my life to some plonkers who sit in Westminster in London and make rules based on what they want to take from me. I've earned it. This is my money. I've earned it. Me and my friends have earned our money. We deserve to keep it. It's not fair that we should be fined or propositioned that we should be paying more taxes after paying taxes. We've paid taxes all our lives. This is one thing that I don't understand about why the government want to kill people like me. And I believe it's so. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to eradicate millionaires from the business. And ultimately, these are the ones that employ staff. I've stopped employing staff. How many others in the UK have stopped employing staff of recent? People like me who have had 5 or 10 staff. We've stopped. And they're going on the unemployment line. Look at the job opportunities. They're going less and less and less. Unless you're a plumber or a spark or a tradesman, your business is going to go down. Insurance, AI. Accountancy, AI. Legal, AI. News, AI. Even production. I'm talking about presenting news on the television, AI. Everything is going to be taken over by a computer and a greedy boss behind the scenes going tap, tappity, 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 tap. There's a lot less people going to have jobs in 20 years' time. I reckon unemployment figures, 30 to 40%. I believe that a lot of young people will be the ones that will be unemployed, or you need to evolve your job straight away to AI-based support, because that's the way it's going to be. And I'm the first to jump. I'm going AI fully, 100%. If I can labor rate this and put a machine in to pack all this nonsense, I will. And I'll get AI to do it. And I've got the money to pay for it. I'm busy dealing with a lot more little strokes in the fire, which require a lot of physical work, such as my equestrian center, such as my construction business, such as my property development portfolio. These are all things require hands-on. But there's other businesses, such as my gold, my silver, my other businesses, such as the online businesses. They can all be AI'd off. And that's the future. That is the future. So saying that and doing all this, there's a reason for it. I'm not stupid. And people may say that I was stupid to get rid of all the staff. I wasn't. It was a great thing to do. It was the best thing to do. And I'm making more money now than I've ever done. Yes, I'm going to give it back. I'm going to give it to the good ones who want to work. And I'm going to promote business. I'm going to promote entrepreneurship. I'm going to promote freedom of cash. Freedom of cash. Cash is democracy. You wouldn't believe it. CDCs is not freedom. Digital IDs are not freedom. And if you guys sign up to this nonsense and become a collaborator of digital IDs, if you condone digital IDs, if you want digital IDs, you and your children will be prisoners forever. And it's a truth. It's 100% true. It's a part of the WEF, and that's the way it's going. I'm not the type of person to complain or moan about this. This is not me. I am not that type of person. I'm not paranoid. I'm not delusional. I'm certainly not insane. I am absolutely aware that this is a precipitial moment where we're all going to make either do with what we're being told to do, or we stand up and say, no, I'm not going to comply with this one. Taxes are going up. We complied. We were told with the health care, we cannot leave our houses. We complied. We were told to inject nonsense into our blood. I myself have got a physical injury caused by the injection into my shoulder. They dug it into a nerve, and I've got a thing called Sherva, which doesn't allow my arm to lift any higher than this. I can't lift it any higher than that. And that's as good as I can get it. It has locked this in, and I got an injury to my muscle. That was caused by the government. And I had to comply in order to keep working or traveling. So my point is, compliance is not always good. You don't have to always comply. We have to stand up against things like cryptocurrency, the digital currency the government are going to bring in. They call it the GCDC, which is a government-controlled digital currency. And that is going to be the last step. We're at phase 6. Phase 7 is the compliance to full digital ID. AI. You don't understand this. We walk down the road. This is digital IDs for you guys. This is digital ID as it stands in its fullest. You walk down the road of the United Kingdom, the most cameraed society in the UK, in the world. There's more cameras per capita in the UK than there is in China. You walk down that road and you've just signed up for a digital ID. They've taken your face, all your prints, everything you've done. You've decided, oh, I don't know, and you're walking down, they see your face. What are they going to record? They're going to record your walking. They're going to record how you walked, who you were with, and they're going to link every single thing on. And then you decide to have a bit of an uprising and protest against the government. But they've got you. They've not got you here. They've got you even how you walk. Your walk is an individual fingerprint of how you and identify you very quickly. So if you're wearing a mask to protect your identity because you don't want to get arrested, be aware. The minute you give your digital ID to someone, they can link who you're with and they will align you with criminals. If you've got someone who you didn't know was a pedophile or someone you're walking down the street with has lied to you and you're aligned with them, you're basically government controlled and you're linked to whatever you do, whatever you spend, wherever you go, whatever you say, whatever you didn't say, whatever you wanted to say. I myself, if I went and signed up for digital ID, I'm due to be imprisoned because I'm the one that's fighting against things like this. I don't have a problem with a lot of things that the government do, but I do have a problem with this. I have a problem with the way that they punish employers. I have a problem with the way that they punish wealth. They're punishing wealth. And they are telling you that you must not be a business person. You walk down that street and you've got your digital ID, you are damned. You are damned to hell and so are your family. And you have to remember this nonsense. I cannot stand the fact that they're openly speaking to us all. And we're listening because you're just a YouTube flick. Your attention span on TikTok is now designed 1 second of attention span. With YouTube, it's 1 minute, and that's going down. It used to be 2 minutes years ago. Our attention span is getting less and less and less. And the WEF are saying to you, you must do this, you must do that. And the government are standing there applauding in the crowd. Yay, well done, WEF. Let's get on to digital currencies. Let's stop people from leaving their towns and cities because it ain't green. It's control. Why? We will never reason. We will never understand why control continues to grow. Why do governments and why do people, why are there humans at the top wanting to control the people at the bottom? It is societal. It is absolute historical. It has happened for millions of years where there's always someone at the top wants full control fully. And it happens. Our human, there is a certain type of human wants to control everybody. Why? I don't know. Ask them. They won't tell you the truth. They're the pure narcissists. They're the ones that tell you in the stage show. They're the ones that we should be worrying about. But yet we happily put them and democratically vote them in. And yet all we're voting in is the same typical shitheads. As it was the Tory party. As it was the Labour Liberal Democrat or the Conservative Liberal Democrats before. The world is changing, guys. And we are going back into a society of 1920, thereabouts, of that type of political theory, where you have a massive amount of people who couldn't give a shit about who's in politics, and you've got a few that do. And they are the hardliners that push the hardliners to become the hardliners. Politics repeats itself, guys. History repeats itself. That's why we teach history in schools. So we can all grow up and go, oh, I remember that story. Hold on. Was that not Nazi Germany? Hold on. Was that not Stalinist regime? Ah, communism doesn't work. I remember that from history. But we don't. We don't remember the shit that is being taught to us. And we happily allow this continue new system, papers please, in 1920s, 1930s, and that was the German government. Now we've got the British government saying digital IDs please, and if you don't get it, you're frigged. My point is, and I'm going off on one, and I'm getting really upset by this, and it's not me. I'm a business person. I shouldn't be dealing with politics. I shouldn't have to deal with, I should be dealing with employing staff. I should be dealing with making sure the economy keeps going. Every single one of you people that live in the United Kingdom most likely have bought one of my products. Have you ever thought about that? I have sold millions and millions and millions of products in my time as an employee, or as an employer, as a tradesman. I own 17 businesses in the United Kingdom. You probably used one of my telephone calls. You probably went onto one of my internet service providers. I owned a large ISP which I sold to 186K in Leeds. I had so many customers. Some of you guys have used me and didn't even know you were using my services. So that's where I should be. I should be behind the scenes, making the economy grow, keep on paying the taxes, allowing this to go. I shouldn't be here trying to tell people you need to wise up and you need to understand that that's what it is. There you go. Stevie, eBay. You've 10 returns for scummy customers. Look at tonight's one that I've got incoming. I've got a video coming in about eBay and the returns. The amount of returns that I got this week. 14 days I've been doing this. 14 days I've been doing the eBay business on my own. And I sat down yesterday to do the returns so badly that I had to do a video on it. It's a 50-minute video so far. It talks about the returns. 293 sales, Stevie. 293 sales, of which eBay was only 150 something. Amazon was 122. 2 returns from Amazon and 20 something, 28 from eBay. I didn't like the item. I didn't like the item. Item doesn't fit. And I had to pay for the delivery there. And I had to pay for the fees. They kept the fees, the advertising fees, eBay. And that's how scummy that is. It's a joke. You're right. It is a complete joke. So anyway, yes, I'm very passionate. I'm sorry about that. Mark's got his, Gary, you've got your work cut out today, mate, because I've got a lot of people who don't agree with me. But that's okay. You're entitled not to agree with me. You just don't have to say it in a fascist or a rude way. You can say what you want on my channel, as long as you don't do it in a way that is offensive to others. You can talk to me and you can tell me, Al, I think you're a prat. I'm honest. And this is something you guys have to be aware of. I hope that you go to bed tonight and think about what I said and go, yeah, this is unacceptable. This world is changing. I've seen it, guys. I was born in 1972, on the 11th of September 1972, when it wasn't wealthy, but it was absolutely family orientated. This world has changed. Nobody gives a shit about anyone anymore. Not about your neighbor. There's no community anymore. We're all stuck in a little zone, our own wills. And that was one of the phases of control. Shut up, get on your phone and listen to people. Get on the TikTok, and that's what it's all about, to keep us controlled. So that we don't get up and say, hey, my rights are being affected here. My humanity is being affected. And that ultimately is my problem. Do I like Christmas markets? Yes, I do. I think they're lovely. I love them. Yes, I like doing that. I found my first Christmas market in Holland. It was great, Brickmaster. Thank you for changing the subject. Oh, I love it. So I got to get you guys on board. Any of you guys want to be involved with me? There's an inner circle. You can join it by going onto my channel. You pay £2.39, I think it is. You then have to unsubscribe. When you go to the £2.39, it then puts you into the channel. You invite yourself, you come onto my silver circle, and if you want to be involved with me, you can chat to me any time of the day or night. There's no secrets with me. You can come and see me. You can come to my home. I'll make you a cup of coffee. That's where I am. 40,000 subscribers, and I'm still making cups of coffee for people in regards to their fan. The way I see it is we're all a part of a community. I'm the one that's basically coming up on every day, but you're a part of that community. And if you want to stay a part of that community, you're more than welcome to join in and become a bigger part of this community. There's a lot of people do it, and I'm very pleased. I look 53. Well done. I am 53. So I ask you, if you want to be involved, if you want to make money, if you want to do it in a way that makes you money, you, not me. I don't give a shit about your money. I don't need your money. I'll give you money to make money. The scenario is you get involved with me. I teach you a few things. I find out if you're a fraudster. I find out if you're a real person, if you're a good human. And if that is the case, you'll be invested in. I will invest in you. Both my time and my money. And I will make sure that you have a business. And I will keep working you. But you have to show me that you prove to me that you're a good human. And that is a part of that circle. If you then pass all the rest of the tricks on the silver circle, we go to the gold. The gold circle has just started. And all it is me teaching them how to start this business. And if you want to know what I'm like as a business person, if you want to look at my business, you know, there's one of my rows of many rows. Many rows. This is only one of two locations that I have full of this stuff. This was a business I was running. It was doing very well. And sadly, eBay changed that rules. But that all was made not from being gifted, from the love of God or whoever it is. I earned that money. Everything you see is owned by me. I earned it. I worked it. I worked it hard. 10 years of my life after being bankrupted the first time. I was bankrupted. I had to get a job. I had to restart my life. Here it is again. I've rebuilt it. This is not one. There's two of these locations. And what I'm saying is everybody can do the same. If you want to be a part of what I do, you want to be a part of the energy that I have, come and join me. Come and join my team. Be a part of who I am. Maybe you can work with me and we can start a business together. I'm not going to run it. I'm just going to invest in it and help you what I can with the experience I have. There's another thing I talk about. It was a wisdom of men. As you get older, you get wiser. I don't give a shit what anyone says. If you look at an old man and he looks like a fool, then maybe he is. Or maybe he's one of the most wisest men you'll ever meet. And that's my point. With age comes wisdom, 100%. And I've been talking about this recently because 30 years ago, I would have thought that I was smart. But see, when I look back at myself now, I was thick as shit. And that's my point. In life, we learn from life. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, I'm just giving off one. This is supposed to be about me and my business. And all I'm doing is I'm standing here giving off about the world. And I shouldn't be. So, as a part of that, what's my working with friends? Don't work with friends, wee man. Oh, please don't work with friends. They won't be your friend for long. Don't work with your wife. They won't be your wife for long. If your business is stressful and you've got control and other people want control, my advice is don't give it to friends. Because with friendship, there's contempt. Contempt, you can't get the job done. People will sit on their ass and go, I'm not doing that. He's a friend of mine. He doesn't give a shit. So don't do it. Don't employ friends. Don't employ wives. Don't employ girlfriends. Just make sure they're perfect strangers. Because the day they said they're not going to do it is the day they've got contempt for you. Because they've become familiar with you. That's it. Familiarity breeds contempt. And that's the only way it works in business. You have to be unfamiliar. You have to stand back. And you have to not be their friend. Thus, and this is going to be the end of it. We're 64 minutes into my live. I appreciate you all joining me. And anyone that's left me now at the minute during this thing, I appreciate you joining, stopping by. Thanks very much for joining me. And I'll speak to you in the next video. The video's out tonight. Have a look at it about refunds and returns with eBay. It's not good. Speak soon.